Welcome to another Finche podcast.
All right, this is Lobo, and we're here again with another Pinche podcast. Kenny, how's it going, Kenny? Can you introduce
Good.
yourself?
I'm Keny out of Cleveland, Ohio. I go by Kiloz Media. I've been shooting for a long time. Reached out to Lobo a couple years ago. We've kind of been, talking and networking and stuff. So
Yeah, so Cleveland. What's the
yep,
lowrider community out there like that?
pretty much just there's a handful of us, man. So I travel, so I'm diverse in how low riding is across the country, whether it's Miami, the Northwest Pacific,
Mhm.
down to LA County, and you know, um, it's pretty bare out here, man.
Yeah,
In comparison to other places. I mean, I'm on the road a lot, but the way I look at it is kind of like I'm in Central California, and
yeah,
I could either go north up to NorCal, or I could go down to LA County and kind of kick it down there. So the equivalent of that is I either have to drive to, like I'm doing this weekend, I'm heading out to Chicago, so that's me heading up to NorCal. And if I'm heading south down to like LA County, it's like, Southern Ohio, or maybe like, Kentucky area, trying to reach out to those general areas, Indianapolis. So,
nice. I'm trying to. I had to move my table, and I'm trying to get my sign in there in the picture, so I got to move
there you
everything
go.
around. I'm still adjusting, but um, so for you, yeah, like you said, this weekend you're gonna be in Chicago.
Yep.
I know you like getting there early before everybody's there. What
Day
time?
before.
Oh, you're gonna get there the day before?
Yeah, day before. So I like to shoot everybody's car.
Yeah,
I want to get at least one picture of everybody's car. Because when I'm shooting, I try to shoot everybody's car first and then do my
yeah,
artistic thing after. My
yeah,
first thing is documenting every car that's there, because everybody loves to see a cool picture of their car, you know? So
yeah,
I love seeing people get excited about the photos that I took of their car. Whether I like it or not, totally different conversation, but it seems like it always interests me what people actually tend to like based off of social media engagement. Things that
yeah,
I necessarily might not like, other people tend to love, you know? So I tend to try to shoot everything and kind
yeah,
of see how it goes. So typically, if I can, if it's a big indoor show, if I can
mhm,
get there a day before, I'm gonna try to shoot as much as I can, and then fly my drone around, do those types of things. And then the day
yeah,
of the show, it's more people, it's more kind of low key, and shooting with different lenses. Where the day before, I'm trying to shoot pretty much everything, so I might keep like more of a wide angle on.
yeah.
So
When you have people there, when you're shooting with what are you shooting with right now?
Team Canon all day, red rings. So I shoot with multiple pieces of equipment. I just picked up a DJI Avata 2. That's like a FPV drone.
Yeah,
Very fun to
I've seen
dry.
that. I was thinking about getting that for my son.
Very fun to dry. So it's very fun to fly. I'm used to flying other drones, and they're GPS locked and they're
Yeah,
not as adventurous. This, man, you want to try to get into those tight spaces. I was at the Lowrider show in Louisville a couple weeks ago, and
yeah,
I flew it around there. It was a little nerve wracking because that was within like the month of me getting it. I feel a
yeah,
lot better now, because these are meant to get really close to things.
yeah,
So I would like to fly through windows and stuff. I'd probably try it on my Impala before I tried on anybody else's, but you can get through that window and try to get those kind of shots. So I
yeah,
use that. GoPro's always general video footage. It's the easy thing to go to.
yeah,
Um, Being a one man band, I mean, as yourself, I mean, there's so many. The hardest thing about having so many cameras is figuring out what camera to use at what time, because you can only really kind of use one to the best of its ability. So should you be taking pictures at this moment? Should you be doing a GoPro? Would a drone work? And it's kind of like you're trying to work out all this mental math, like what is the best piece of equipment for this, what's going on right now at this exact moment. So,
that is very true. Because then it's like, are you gonna literally carry everything with you, or are you gonna put
oh
it
yeah,
down somewhere, or then you gotta go back and you see something else and you
yeah,
need a different thing and you gotta
it's
go back.
it's
I've
the worst.
backtracked so many times when it comes down to these car
Yep,
shows. I backtrack a lot because
yeah,
I'll have to switch out things, and I'm like, okay, this ain't gonna work. In Arizona,
yep.
my new R8 overheated,
Oh yeah,
and I had it on
video or
had it on
just photos.
for video.
Oh, what are you shooting? 4K?
No, I don't even waste my time with that. It's too much. The
So 1080?
It was 1080, but that was the first time I had the camera out there in the heat, and it
Oh,
overheated real
heat.
quick,
So,
like
okay.
within 15, 20 minutes. But I researched the hell out of it because I was like, this doesn't make no sense. A brand new camera.
Yeah.
So come to find out that when it starts to do that, you don't run the camera, you let it sit out there, and then it'll become the sensor will become used to the heat, and it will know that the camera is not overheating.
Oh,
Is that crazy or what? Because I didn't
that's
know that.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so I put
interesting.
that camera down. I didn't even get no outside footage. I really got like a little bit of outside clips because I went and
Yeah.
got my other camera and shot handheld. But
When you're at shows like that, you prefer indoor or outdoor footage? Yourself, like when you're looking back at things, what do you prefer? Like if it's an
photos
indoor or outdoor
outdoor,
show?
video,
I
everything.
agree. I
Video,
agree.
everything.
I agree.
You can't really you no matter what the lighting is, whether it's decent or not in an indoor, you're never gonna fully capture
It's
what the
rough.
picture looks like when it's in the sun.
Exactly. Yo, sun all day. When you get that sun, it's on point.
Exactly. And I think that a lot of the, let's say, bigger promoters, they think that it makes them look upper class if everything's indoor. And
I agree.
honestly, I don't mind doing the indoor outdoor shows. I love doing yeah, it gets hot, but some people
Yeah,
want to be out there in the sun. And then you're also limited. So like
correct.
in the Bay Area, we have no giant indoor venues. You had
Oh
like
yeah?
the Takeover show in Anaheim,
Yeah.
they had like over 1,000 cars in there. There's going to be a show here in San Jose, and it's going to be Impala Super Show, but it's about 400 cars. That's as much as you
Oh
can fit.
shit.
There is no expansion. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It would have to be indoor, outdoor, and there's no, there's just no place up here. But then again, I say because we have better weather, it's not crazy hot.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, I mean, certain places have the big giant venues when you have more cars, but it's also like for the shooting, it's comfortable because you're not baked in the sun, but at the same time, for it to really, make the cars look good, yeah, outdoors is best.
I agree.
So dude, when are you gonna come to Cali and do a show?
Back, I just was out there in November. So I changed jobs. So I used to travel a lot. I used to hit you up regularly, like,
Yeah,
"Hey, I'm out here. What's up?" I'll catch you next time.
yeah.
I changed jobs, so I'm not flying as much anymore. But I
Mm,
mean, I'm out there this year. I'm definitely out in California. Definitely hitting like LA County. I want to hit that Peterson and see that exhibit that they got going on.
yeah.
My buddy Mike released his bike that has been put up for essentially 25 years. So I want to go out there, see Casino Dreaming, and kind of kick it out there and do that type of
Nice.
thing. Also want to make it up to NorCal. So yeah,
There's a couple shows in NorCal. There's San Jose Super
yeah,
Shows indoor. That's the August 24th, and then the week
okay,
before that, there's King of the Streets,
yeah.
and
King of Streets is big.
King of the Streets is August 17th, San Francisco. That's the one I recommend if you really want to get all over all kinds of content. You'll get car show, hop, and cruising all in the same day because that's what they do with that. That's one. It's
Okay,
like I just got invited to a show in Texas, but I had to turn it down because it was the same day, and I was like I already invited everybody out there.
yeah,
So
no.
um so how many shows are you usually hitting since you're out there?
Um, I try to hit as many as I can. Honestly, I am married, so I'm not trying to have my wife kick it at the house by herself. When it's hard when you're married and you're a photographer, if you take your car to a
Mhm.
show, you can kick back. When I'm at a show, I don't sit at all. So I'm running and I don't want to miss anything. So I run and shoot all day and it's hard to even catch up like with myself sometimes. So
Yeah.
it's hard. So I try to kind of keep it kind of 50-50. But I try to hit
Yeah.
as many shows as I can.
Yeah.
Um, any like of the bigger shows out here, we do a lot of picnics. There
Mm.
are a couple of rider shows, but we do like a lot of picnics. So we got clubs like USO, we got clubs like Majestics, and things like that. So I try to hit a lot of those picnics,
Yeah.
uh, and try to document as much as I can. So yeah, pretty much a majority of uh, almost all anything in this region, the Ohio, Indiana,
Mm.
Illinois, trying to get into Pennsylvania, maybe New York and shit like that. I'm gonna try
Yeah.
to hit.
What is your main platform?
I don't have a
Sharing
main platform.
main plat
I
sharing your content.
so pictures is always Instagram and Facebook, and then I do YouTube, and I
Mm.
don't really cross the two. They're kind of separate entities. I know a lot of people like to chop clips and put it onto YouTube. I'm sorry, chop clips and put it onto like Instagram and Facebook. I don't do that necessarily. They're kind of like two separate pieces completely. So
I'm telling you, you gotta do the micro they used to call it micro content, now it's called reels.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
so micro content is you give a little sliver of something,
yeah,
even some B-roll or something like that sometimes, and I just throw a little video up on Instagram. And the thing is it feeds people and it directs them to
yeah,
your YouTube. I mean, in a way, you have to cross promote, and
yeah.
Instagram has usually I mean, there's the thing is I found about YouTube is you have a different audience because a lot of people on YouTube
Correct.
do not have social media.
Other social medias, there'll be people that reach out to me like, "Hey, where can I get some of this stuff?" I'm like, "Oh, so and so on Instagram has it." And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't got an Instagram." So I'm like, "Oh, well, I mean, they really only work through Instagram." So especially with like a lot of aircraft hydraulic parts and shit,
Yeah.
a lot of those cats only use Instagram. They're not on Facebook really, and
Yep.
so yeah, they're like, "How can I get this piece?" I'm like, "You got to hit up so and so." So
And that's why I make money building people websites now.
yeah,
Because people are realizing that they're losing people because not everybody has Instagram or Facebook.
yep,
And so a lot of people that are just like, I don't need a website. I just have Instagram and this and that. They're realizing they need the website, even if it's just to, be able to show what they can, what they have, and then they can email or whatever. But it's a point of contact. And I already built two websites for two different custom, basically lowrider custom chrome parts and stuff like that.
okay,
They sell wheels and hydraulics and all that stuff. So two different companies I've done their websites, and it's the same thing. It's exactly that. It's like a lot of people are not on social media as much as we think they are.
yep,
So
yeah.
I think the last time I talked to you, you're talking about you were able to do a wedding. You still
Uh,
how often do you do outside of the lowrider stuff?
so I've since I've bought so much equipment, man, I really doubled down and, bought like, when we first started talking, I think I had, like, a basic Canon and basically a basic lens, like, maybe a 50 mil or something,
Mhm. The
and
GoPro.
now yeah, now I pretty much have if there's a L series lens for a Canon, I
Mm.
pretty much have it.
Yeah.
So, for, like, the mirrorless game.
Mm.
So, the hardest part is trying to pick out what lenses and stuff to use at shows and stuff, but it helps when I'm using it for, like, events like, weddings. Like, I had a friend just have a baby, I'm gonna do some newborn photography. I do quinceañeras and all that type of stuff, so, general things. I'm trying to get better at taking pictures of people. I started documenting cars because
Mm.
that's what I love and that was my passion, but, it's fun. I'm trying to get in the hang of feeling more comfortable because to me, it feels kinda awkward taking pictures of people still, but
Mhm.
it's fun documenting and being able to look back at the history, you know?
Yeah.
So and I like providing people the same as I like taking pictures of people's cars and them sharing it. It's nice when people take a picture that you just took of them and they share it because it's
Yeah.
like, "Damn, I did a good job," you know? And they appreciate that, and I'm
Ex
happy that they appreciate that.
exactly.
So,
The, when you right now, do you use a speed light flash?
uh it depends on the show. So I got some speed lights. I got a couple different speed lights, and then I also have like a lot of just always on LED lights. I actually
Yeah.
have four. I have four of them on me right now. So you might be able to see this key light that I was trying to get set up, but didn't really work out that well. So, but yeah, I mean, I've been getting into lighting a lot more. So off body flash, on body
Mm.
flash. So
The off-camera flash is best, but when you're at a show, it's
it's
just too much.
too much.
Too
Yeah,
much.
it's too much.
And
I
I
agree.
mean, if you're shooting, especially if like you, how you said, and when you're trying to shoot every car, like sometimes I have that time when I can do that, and you can't do it with an body. You'll get a better picture with an off body flash,
Correct.
but if you're gonna keep moving,
It's a lot.
you got to keep the flash on the
Yeah.
camera. And a lot of people
So,
don't understand that that's a thing. You
oh,
actually
100%.
photos are way better when the flash is
Oh,
not directly on the camera.
oh, yeah, it's about either bouncing light, you don't want that hot spot, and the same is
Mhm.
true when cars are displayed. Sometimes people try to just grab, like, a little light off of, like, Home Depot or whatever and put it on their car, and it kind of fucks up the picture because I'm like, yo, I could just take a better picture just using my flash, but now it's
Yeah.
going to come out messed up because you have this lighting and I can't. I'm not going to touch your lighting,
Yeah.
and it's just a big ass light here, just on this like wheel well or something, and the rest of the car is dim. So it's like, damn, this ain't going to come out that good. But I'm still going to try to shoot it.
Yeah.
But
Do you guys hit many cruise? Do you get to hit any cruises out there?
yeah, I mean, we got cruises. As far as cruising goes, honestly, Detroit cruises. So up there, those cats,
Mm,
especially those majestic guys, they're on. There's a street up there called Woodward. They'll
okay.
cruise all the way. It's essentially a 4-lane highway, like a 4-lane highway, but it's just road access. You got side streets and stuff, and it pulls in all kinds of cars. So typically, lowriders will be up there,
Mhm.
but that's always a fun thing. We get cruising around here. Once I put my aircraft setup back in my Impala, I'm going to be cruising a bit more. So yeah, I mean, we do some cruising. It's just cruising out west. There's nothing better than it. So
Yeah.
yeah, everybody has that dream, especially being out here on the East Coast, Midwest, is getting our car out there and
Yeah.
cruising, you know, all the way. You could cruise Whittier, you could cruise any of them.
Well, yeah,
So
that's when they're not sweating it. Now that they're making it not a crime in the state of California, there's still
yeah,
cities that will not let people cruise, and that's even LA, all that stuff, LA County and
yeah,
everything like that. They're still giving them shit. So yeah, but I think someone recently we brought it up. They said like cruising was low riding was fun when it wasn't legal.
yeah. That's true. Same is true with like graffiti and shit. Like a lot of things are more fun when there's that legal aspect to it. Because once you legalize it, it kind of takes that fun away.
Yeah, it's the addiction to not getting caught, pretty much.
And then people try to create businesses, and then people take advantage of the community. So you get all those type of leechers that kind of come in, and
Yeah,
that's
I
that's
think it
not fun.
drives me nuts. It drives me nuts that they'll be like, "Oh, we're gonna have a barbecue, or there's gonna be a cruise night," and then it's like instead of people out there, there's a bunch of people trying to be vendors, and I'm like,
Yeah,
"It's a cruise night, not a
yeah,
vendor night."
yeah,
Get in the car, go cruising, be sociable, talk to people, walk around, do stuff like that. But this is not
yeah,
here. We're not a pop up, and that's the one thing that drives me nuts because I have seen other people say it's cruise night, no vendors allowed, and I'm like, thank God.
yeah,
The so tell us about your setup you got there. I see you have your pumps up there on the ground right there, but just
yeah,
in
yeah.
general, you have your whole your whole studio all low ridered out.
Yeah, yeah. So this is got my little studio down here, bunch of lowrider magazines, a bunch of lowrider artifacts all around. So I actually have two pink lowrider magazine hats. These came from the early '90s. One
Mhm.
of these was the editor of lowrider magazine, Dick Duluth. Proud to have one of those. I actually have a couple more of his pieces over here. But yeah, I mean, lowrider magazines all around. Aircraft, hydraulics, got those A decks over here,
Mm.
lowrider bike over here. So, I mean, always been a lowrider, so you don't get too much of it. So I have to indulge it in my house. It's kind of like people like to swim. You get a pool and shit like that.
Yeah,
I like to lowride, so this is me swimming in my culture over here. So
yeah, yeah. I mean, I thought about doing the posters because I have all mine still, and I
yeah,
know I know a couple times on Facebook and stuff you show off your collection.
yeah,
How
yeah. I
many
love.
how many years of magazines you got?
Oh, I got from 2019 all the way back to essentially early '80s, and I'm working on like the '70s, so '77 to '79. I'm
Mm,
working on that portion. But it's not only that. I have a couple lowrider street low magazines. I know you were part of the street low. I
yeah.
have lowrider scene over here. I have some Japanese lowrider magazines. I have some oddballs. Um, I have Boulevard. I'm just reading what I'm looking at. So I have
Mm,
a bunch of those magazines. So and then I got Centerfold as well.
yeah. Do you have
So
Street Custom?
yeah, I got a lot of street customs. Let me see. I could
Or did you ever hear of the magazine that came out of New York or the East Coast, Scrape magazine?
yeah, I remember Scrape. There was a couple issues of Scrape. There wasn't too many of them.
Yeah, there was only a
Uh,
couple. I got the subscription to it. I have a few
oh
on
yeah,
collection.
that's what's up. Yeah, there was
Folds, you got published.
yeah, yeah, and the centerfolds in that issue number 5. So I've done self-publishing before, like with some
Mm,
Uso stuff, but Yeah, that Centerfold issue number 5 I got published, so that was pretty cool. This is with Beto, so and he's actually up there kind of by you, so
Yeah,
not too far.
came from this
So
area, 2 tons.
yeah, 2 tons. So yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, I was a fan back when it was at even that was before he was with Lowrider, and then from there he went and started doing his own thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Now he has
yeah,
centerfolds. One of the few magazines is actually being printed right now.
yeah. You got that. You have Next for Life. Those are the only two that are really putting out consistently. Occasionally, you might see like a Lowrider Scene magazine pop up and things like that. But Centerfolds and the Next for Life are the two that are consistently trying to drop new content. So
That's that's like I said, it's the magazine is still kind of now it's a very small market. If you and they got to do they got to do everything
yeah,
themselves. I think a lot of people are like, bring back the magazine. It's like, dude, that doesn't make sense. It's
no.
like saying bring back 8 tracks for your car.
And there's
No,
too for Lowrider magazine in particular, there's too many people with their hands in the cookie jar. So with that magazine in particular, it'd be rough. You'd almost have to start up with the ground. You're almost better off starting from the ground
it's
up.
corporate. It's corporate owned. They printed a
Exactly.
magazine. They printed the all women's one.
Yeah.
That
Oh
went
yeah.
out, and I have I got a copy of that too. But but the thing is that there's no market share for that because before everything and the reason why people cried about it being all full of rim ads and everything, well, that's what paid for the
That's
magazine.
how you pay for it. Yeah. So a lot of people, it's just like when people get mad when you host a car show and you have to pay to enter, somebody has to pay for that venue.
Oh yeah, and
It's
it
not
always is.
somebody's not necessarily making bank. They have to pay for venue, they have to pay for insurance, they have to pay for
Mhm.
police, they have to pay for people to come, like artists and things. You might make a little bit of money, but the amount of work that comes in that you have to put into it, it ain't worth it.
I mean, the great example is so right after COVID, the first Lowrider magazine Vegas Super Show after COVID, he had to put a 120 like 120 something $1,000 deposit for
Yeah.
the venue.
Yeah, I was there. That
So,
we ran
yeah,
into each other. That was
yeah,
all
but
one.
people don't realize that
21.
do you have 100 since Mr. I can do it better. There's always
Exactly.
somebody I can do this car show. We don't need to charge people. They should pay us. Okay,
Exactly.
well, do you have 120 grand just to put down as a deposit? And if something goes wrong, you lose it.
You're not getting that back.
Exactly.
So
And
it's a money game.
yeah, it is a money game, but it's also about they realize, I've seen it out here where people say we can do this, that better. And then all of a sudden you see shut down because they didn't have permits. Oh, they want to do a
Yep.
lowrider,
It
food
gets
cook off.
expensive quick.
No, you don't have insurance. You need to have vendors. You're going to serve food. It needs to be all
Yep.
this insurance, everything else. Oh, we didn't know they had to do that. Yeah, that no shit. But then you wonder why the promoters are sitting there charging you to get in and all these
Yep.
other things. It's not. It ultimately like anything else. You're talking about. Okay, we want better performers. Well, that costs more money. So, do you want to pay more at the door?
Exactly. Or do you want the cars to be more to enter them? Like that money has to be made up somewhere. Where's it going to be
Yeah.
made up at?
Exactly. And I think
So
it's just one of the things is when you're on the outside looking in, it always seems like it's so simple, and it's not. It's just like going to the show, like any major show that's indoors at a convention center. The food is really expensive. That money
yep.
does not go to the person that throws that car show.
Nope.
That price for that food at that venue is that price, no matter whether it's a concert, a conference,
Yep.
a car show, a hot rod show, anything. That's the same price. That's what they
Yep.
do. That's how they make their money there.
Yep. Since we're on the topic of shows and Costa, what do you think about the media passes? Come on, speak it out.
Okay, well, I mean, I was hoping we'd bring that up. Um, so here's the thing, and I want you guys to understand this in general. Jumping to conclusions when you see that how much it costs to get a media pass is something. Well, obviously, okay. So let me backtrack this real quick. So when I first started out, I wasn't even doing Pinches Lowriders yet. I went to an event in LA. They were gonna have a big ass hop. It was a New Year's event. It was Majestics. It was 2016. I was still with Street Low. I asked him, "Can I get in the hot pit?" He says, $250. Is it $250? He says, "Yeah, you're gonna make money off of the video, so you might as well pay for So we're all gotta make money, right?" all right, well, I'll pass. I never went to the hot pit. And the reality behind that is, you know, I just chose, okay, well, I mean, I thought about it. I really
Yeah.
did. And I was like, I'll pass. I'll see how it goes and whatever. So let's fast forward. Nowadays, I network directly with the promoters. And yes, it takes time to get there. But if you're not familiar with the people throwing the shows, I'd ask around because
Yeah.
so they'll straight up. I like, for instance, you were gonna go to that show and you put out that you needed a media pass. I went and talked to the promoter directly because I was gonna get you a media pass. But then he goes, I think someone already bought him the media pass.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. Now, the thing is I was lucky enough to be introduced to this promoter only like a year ago. And the thing is you have to talk to the promoters directly. Now, what they don't want, and the reason why they put up that cost for the media pass, is they don't want. What happens is people that are just random photographers,
Yep.
not necessarily the photographers that are in the lowrider scene, but there's some random photographers. They'll think, oh, there's a car show at Lowriders. I'm gonna go take a bunch of pictures and then I'm gonna use it for something completely different.
Yeah.
And they're not really part of the scene, and or they're just gonna bring like a random model and they have no idea how it works, and they're just gonna be like out there. And so what they don't want is people doing that. And if they're gonna do that, they're gonna pay to do that. Because some people will go in there with the idea they're gonna make all this money. Because I've literally met photographers and I know who they are around here, where they'll take pictures of everything, and then you ask them where are the pictures, and they're like, well, it's on my website and you can buy it for money.
Yeah.
Like they don't even ever put the picture. They don't even have like
Yeah.
Instagram, and they're not even part of the scene. They're rude. They shoot over your shoulder. I've
Yep.
literally had models that worked with me like, who are you? And the guy's like, I'm so and so. I said, well, did you ask me to take my picture? And he said, no. He says, he's taking my picture, pointing at me. You need to go, because
Yeah.
they start following you around and they want to take pictures, and then they want to charge everybody for that, except and even the model for the pictures.
Yep.
So I mean, that's what they're trying to detour. Just the average person thinking they're gonna walk in there with a camera. And I was just actually brought this up because I'm interviewing other
No, I saw
yeah,
you've been interviewing the models
yeah, and
and
then
seeing.
and well, the new series is gonna be, well, people like us, the content creators, and they're people that will have a camera will think that they can get into the car show for free by carrying the camera.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
I get it. I get that perspective because somebody broke it down to me.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I think it's not, you don't got to go kissing anybody's ass and playing favorites. All you have to really do is just say, hey, this is what I do. Here's my content. This is my videos I make. What I would like a press pass. And then they're gonna
Yep.
send you, like, there's usually an email and it states like, we need, please supply us with some of the content you take.
Yep.
We have, give us some stuff to use for our website and everything else like that. And it's all good. It's where the people don't ever
Fair.
put anything
Yeah.
out. And I'm sure they've given people press passes and they never seen one picture because the person, maybe they didn't know what they were doing. They just took the camera because they thought they were going to be cool and meet somebody.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I definitely get that perspective.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and so
I
how's that
think
for you?
uh I think it's 50-50 in this area. I think I've made a decent name for myself. It's
Mm,
hard when I go. Every city almost has their photographer, you know.
yeah.
So if you go to LA County, there's so and so. If you're looking for whatever type of, there's certain people that are going to be in there. So
Yeah.
it almost gets saturated. So I don't want to oversaturate. And I'm not gonna really go and bug somebody like, hey, please give me a pass, please give me a pass.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's me. We talked about the weddings earlier. Shooting a wedding. Shooting a
Yeah.
wedding is easy, a couple grand. I'm putting in
Yeah.
that same amount of effort. If not, I'm actually maybe putting in more effort
Yep.
for free to cook this show and shoot it all up and try to make everybody's car look good. Like we talked about earlier, I'm shooting every single car, multiple angles. I want to see that trunk. I want to see what the hydraulic system looks like and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I want to see everything that's in there, and I want to put it all out there. And I get happy when people, share those pictures.
Yeah.
but I don't want to. I'm not paying to bust my ass for 2 days to do that necessarily. It's
Exactly.
either if I can get a pass, I'll get it, and I'm more than happy to do that work because I enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
I I'm not asking you to pay me to do it. I enjoy. Some people like going to the beach. Some people like going across the country for a vacation. I don't
Yeah.
care where I'm at, as long as I have lowriders around me and I can take pictures of them. I enjoy documenting it. So
Yeah.
I just want to take pictures and document that history, and that's what I enjoy. So I'm not going to charge you for me enjoying myself, but at the same time, I'm not going to pay you, and then I have to get a hotel, and then I have to waste all my gas. I have
Yep.
to pay all this toll, bro. It could cost me $1,000 to go to a show that I'm making no money on.
Exactly.
I'm not making money on this show, so it's 50-50 in all honesty. If anybody ever did wanna work with me, I'm more than happy to, and, I feel like I've built up a decent catalog now
Yeah.
where people can look, on my social medias. I'm only putting low order content, even though I do shoot other things, but there's tons of people in my city that shoot
Mhm.
just general photography, and I
Yeah.
wanna cook with them, but they're like, "Yeah, you only shoot, lowriders," so I'm like, "No, I can do other stuff too."
So
It's
that
just
you're
nobody ever gets to see it because all I do is I share lowrider content, so
Yeah, but that's and that's the whole thing. It's like, well, I only put out my lowrider content. Don't mean I don't know how to
yeah.
use the camera otherwise,
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? And that's the whole thing. It's like, but you know what? What I realized when I first started doing the quinceañeras and weddings, it was because I was doing stuff at car shows, and then I
Yeah.
started doing more, and then it died out, and then it came back, and then it died out, and like right before COVID, I spent money on all new equipment because I was going
Yeah.
to revamp that business, and it went to shit. And so now, if someone asks me and I quote them, and if they want to pay me that, then I'll go do it. But
Yeah.
I'm not bothering anymore to do it or putting it out there that I'm available because a lot of times it's last minute. They don't have the budget,
Yeah.
and it's because their cousins, nephews, uncles, best friends, brothers, sisters, twin, cousin flaked on them because they were going to do it for
Yep.
free. They were
Yep.
going to do it for free, but they got sick or they went to jail
Exactly.
and it's like,
So,
well, if you wanted to book me, could have done it a year in advance with a deposit, and I would have
yep.
guaranteed the date. You know what I mean?
So, I mean, that's where I'm at with the media passes. If somebody ever wanted to get some content, I'm more than happy to cook and, get
Yeah,
down. And it's a lot of work, man. Sweating your ass off. And then, it's essentially 2 days worth of work
yeah.
and you're paying to work. I don't know. I couldn't get with it.
Yeah, like, if it's something where you just need to be seen or you really you have something to offer. I think the first couple times would be if you're brand new and you're really, really trying to get in,
Yep. Then they're going to be like, oh, this
then
guy
it's
paid
gonna
last
be
time.
100% worth it.
You know,
Yes, especially if it's
he did a good job. I
that's
like
right.
his work.
That's
You
right.
know, I saw you paid last time. You did a good job on this. You know what? You don't got to pay this time.
Exactly.
Or if you take my logic, this is
Yeah.
just I shoot everybody's car, everybody puts their picture up, and then they're like, I get everybody to be, hey, message that show person and be like, hey, we want Kilo here. We want him to document the show. Because we know if he documents the show, we ain't gotta walk around. We can just kick it by a car, we're gonna see everything.
Yeah.
So
Oh, they're gonna
at least
stand in
that's
front of the car while you're trying to take a picture. No.
yeah, that's bro, it's always like I always feel like I'm wasting time just waiting to get that perfect shot. But that's the joy of getting in there the day before,
Mhm.
taking a picture of everything, and then I try to do, like I said, the more artsy, type. I
Yeah.
put on the bigger focal lengths on the day of and try to shoot those. So
Yeah, I think when you were saying something about how it's different when you shoot people. So, and I was talking to another Cardo Mad
uh,
Richard Maddox out
I
of
don't think I'm hip.
okay, he's out of New Mexico. Anyways, I was saying I like to do, like, for me, I like candids and I like to snipe. So
Yeah,
like if I
sniping's fun.
I'm doing, I put the 70 to 200 on,
Yep,
and I'm taking pictures of people. I like to do it in candid. I like to
hundred
do it
percent.
from a distance because it's more natural and there's so much more, like, I don't know, it just looks nicer. It
Yeah,
looks nicer that you're catching people in the moment.
I agree.
And that's the one catch also with doing wedding photography. You have to know that that the best shots are always going to be the candids.
Yep,
You know, you know, it,
exactly.
we're all going to do the poses and the group pictures, but the candids are going to be the ones that stand out for most people that hire you.
correct. And they're gonna like it. You're gonna like it. It's fun to shoot. So that's why it's kind of fun to have that 70 to 200 on the day of the show. It's just
Mhm.
you're not gonna be able to shoot some of the cars the way that they are. So you got to focus on the other aspects. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, with the 70 to 200, you're gonna see something in the distance, and you'll be able to
yeah,
get that. But really, you want to do honestly, because I've seen people that only walk around with that lens, and I'm like, how do they get anything done? Because
yeah,
there's too many people moving around, and
yeah.
it's not for that. It's just it, there's a way, there's like lowrider bikes, even now the not models, the
The
RCs,
art, yep, the
all
red
that.
cats.
Actually, that lens would probably be really good because it's easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I like when I have time, it's like when you feel so if there's like a show and you feel like you're not gonna have time and you have to start like really moving, what are you gonna go with? You're gonna go with a video, you're gonna go with photos, you're gonna do what are you gonna go with?
That's rough because they're two different animals. I know that the video might do numbers in the beginning, but I like to post every single day
Mhm.
on my Instagram and Facebook a new picture. And in my head, it's like a lowrider feature where it's like, hey, we put this car out, and everybody that follows me or whatever gets to see it. And then that person feels really great that one day. Like, damn, my car got shared. Look, everybody said they like my setup, they like my interior, they like my paint job, and it
Yeah.
makes somebody out there have a great day. So I really want to take that picture so they can have a great day, but I want to take that video. And lately I've been so on the video game, it's been a little bit different because I used to put music to my videos,
Yeah.
and I'm learning that I've actually just started talking about the hydraulic systems or lowrider bikes in particular,
Yeah.
and people tend to like that more because a lot of people don't know what some of this stuff is, and nobody's out there kind of really describing it.
Mhm.
Um, there's a lot of copycats in the social media game. So
Yeah.
if you do something that works, somebody else is going to copy it. But the knowledge, it'll take
Yeah.
years for you to develop this knowledge. So I figured if I develop this knowledge, well, this knowledge that I have, if I'm able to share it with the world, and
Yeah.
people find that interesting. So lately, I've been trying to go around and be like, okay, so we have this kind of car here. They've done this. Maybe
Mhm.
some people don't realize those things that those little things that they have done. It's sitting on these type of wheels, and it would be nice if I can get the owner to speak about the car. But
Yeah.
sometimes I'm in there the day of or the morning of, and it's just easy to run and gun and trying to get all that
Yeah.
out. And I would like to hear their story, but some of it I could pick up on myself. So if the trunk's
Yeah.
open, I can digest this hydraulic system. And
Mhm.
there seems to be a lot of people interested in learning more, but they just don't know where to find that resource
Yeah.
to get that information. So that's what I've been trying to do on the video side. So as far as which one am I going to do, I wish I could just strap a camcorder on top of my regular camera and do them both at the same time. But that's like I wanted to fly a drone. I want to do. It's hard to do everything. So when
The
you have all the pieces, all
one-man
these
band.
tools, yeah, when you have all these tools, the hardest thing is figuring out which tool to use at this exact moment, like we talked about earlier.
So
So
you gotta build a formula, and I have a couple. It just
yeah,
depends, and I do have a second shooter, but he's not always available. And yeah, when I use a second shooter, that means I gotta edit longer because
yeah,
I don't know what he got, so I have to look after
that's 100%. Yeah,
everything, because
yeah,
he only does video for me, and we go to the shows and stuff like that, and I pretty much say, okay, go do this. And sometimes I'm like, yes. And then sometimes I'm like, oh my God. Like, so,
yeah,
I mean, it is what it is. It just, everybody has their days, and,
yeah,
you forget to do something, or you forget to set something, or you let your camera dangle with the harness, and you don't realize that it moves something, and you go to shoot and you go, wait a minute, this,
oh
you didn't
yeah,
figure out what went wrong. That's the worst.
yeah. It's living and
Um,
learning, man.
so well, we used to use that GoPro like crazy, and you're running around chasing those cars, like we talked
Yeah,
about, when we chased cars.
yep.
Um, you know, the one time I remember the one time I guess the camera reset, and we remember we were talking about it because you got the stabilization was not on.
Oh yeah, that was I think that was in those dudes, yeah. So like sometimes with the GoPros when the battery died, it just reset completely and
Mhm.
the hyper stabilization turned off. So man, that video was jello. I hated that that happened, but um I mean that's part of the game. Now every time I go, you have to make those mistakes in
Yeah.
order to prevent them from happening in the again. Now I check every single time. Hey, is that on? Okay. Is
Yeah.
this good to go? Okay. Am I shooting? Is it manual? Do I have? Am I okay? 1.2. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So there's so many different things. Okay, no auto white balance. Let me turn that off.
Yeah.
So all those little things, I check every single time. You have to make those mistakes, and it's either you're gonna not mess up again, or you're gonna keep making the same mistake and saying the same loop. So
Yeah.
it's all about learning from those lessons.
How do you like your you have the R6 or the R6 Mark II?
I have the R6, but I am looking at the R5 Mark II when that drops. It should be soon. Um, in all honesty, though, lenses are the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Um, I'm happy with the quality of my photos.
Yeah.
Sometimes the only reason I really would upgrade is because on my camera, when I'm shooting kind of my video stuff for my YouTube channel, it
Yeah.
has a 30-minute window. So after the 30-minute, it kind of cuts off, and I have to hit record again. And if
Yeah.
I can get rid of that, that would be great.
So the
Um,
R6 Mark II doesn't have a
the
time
Mark II
limit?
does, the Mark II does, but the Mark V is about to come out, and I think it's just a little bit better of a overall camera than the Mark VI.
Yeah,
I mean
it's gonna be well, it's gonna be a
the
higher
R6 Mark II.
resolution, I believe. And then
Yeah.
but I just picked up the Canon R8 and that is the smaller like the
Yeah.
RP,
I'm
and
hip.
it doesn't have a time limit either.
Yeah, any of the new ones, I think the R6 was the last one, or maybe the R5C might have been the last one
Well, the
that really had.
R5C didn't have it because it was designed for video.
Yeah, I remember, but I think it originally did, but then they did an update after it came out.
Mm.
Like, I think if you purchased it on the day of, it did, but then they patched it with the update. So it was, like, right around that era. So new ones, I mean, you don't have to worry about that 30-minute timer, because if you're recording content and then that 30-minute hits, it's just over, it's donezo, you have to hit record again. It's not like it records into a different
Yeah.
file. It just stops recording completely,
Yeah.
which sucks, so
Yeah,
that'd be
exactly.
the only
So
reason I'd upgrade to a new camera, but we'd have to see how this video stuff's doing, so
yeah, so I think the camera I'm gonna get is the R6 Mark II, and I think that's gonna be my next everyday. I have the R, and
yeah,
I love that camera, and it has 30 megapixels.
yeah.
Uh, I love the camera. I'm so used to it. It's like second nature. But
Yeah.
I want to have two full size cameras, and then I use the new R8 is mainly my video. It's
Okay.
now on. I have a DJI the Mini 3
Oh, yeah, the Mini?
3 Mini, yeah. So I
Yeah.
went and got that because I'm trying to um compact, like, I want to do lighter.
Yep.
And so
Yeah.
that together, oh my god, I don't even
Yeah.
touch the GoPro no more.
That's
Uh,
good.
actually the quality of the video is way better.
Oh, yeah. You get the
Yeah.
dynamic range. I picked up the RS3 Pro because it was carbon fiber,
Mhm.
thinking that it would be good, and, man, it's just big and bulky. I see people running and gunning with that, the Mini.
Yeah,
That thing looks so sweet.
yeah. It's just one-handed bandit,
Yep.
just to me, I've had a couple people go, I don't know how you do that. I'm tired of holding it and this and this and that. And so it's like I have the original S,
Yeah.
and that worked great. But now this one, and it's wireless. You don't have to plug anything into
Yep.
your camera.
Correct.
Um, and like I said, I actually have it like mounted on the inside of my hard case. I put
Okay.
Velcro, and so the handle it mounts up. So then I can carry it, because the old S, you can't put that in the camera case. You have to have a whole separate
Yeah.
thing for it.
That's how mine is. I hate because it's so big. Normally, I'm rocking with my Pelican, just
Mhm.
running with that. It
Yeah.
depends. Sometimes I'll do a book bag, but it's like 50-50 for that too. Indoor show, Pelican all day, because you can stand on it, you can sit on it.
Yep.
It's utilitarian.
Bring my chair with me. That's what I tell people.
Exactly. It is great for that. So if somebody's talking, I can sit down for a second, rest,
Mhm.
and take it easy. But yeah,
I
it's
also
hard
like
with that bigger.
with the Pelican case, I also like that I can padlock it. And what I do
Yeah.
is I run a bicycle lock, chain lock in my
Yeah.
trunk of my car.
Yeah.
And so I don't like I don't I no matter what, I don't like leaving my stuff in the car. But if there
Never.
is a point when I have
Especially up in your area, the fucking NorCal.
yeah,
Oh
but
no, you
I
better
have
stay
an
out of
actual
San
car.
Fran.
It's don't wanna go out there in a SUV, anything that they can just, like, break in windows and
Yeah.
reach in. But so for that very reason, I have a bicycle chain, the flexible one. I have it running through the body the inside of the trunk, and then I use it as a combo. And I lock my box, and I put a padlock
Oh
on my
shit.
box on the hard box, so they ain't going nowhere. They ain't getting in
Shit.
it, and they ain't gonna pull it out. Whatever, and they ain't gonna do it quickly. That's for sure.
Yeah,
There's
shit.
a will, there's a way, but they ain't gonna do it easy. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that's
So,
always
but yeah,
I always keep my equipment on me 24/7. I don't care where I am. It's coming with me. So,
yeah, yeah. What I like about the hard box, the hard case, the Pelican case, is I do leave it with people I know and trust, and I just padlock it. And it's not because I
yeah.
don't trust them; it's just that way they're not liable
Yep.
if anybody try to open that case.
Exactly.
So then they're comfortable with me leaving it. That's like I'm still
Yep.
locked. No big deal. But yeah, sometimes it's not that easy, and I have a small little sling bag I've used a couple times,
Yeah,
but
I got a couple slings. What slings do you have?
I don't even know the brand. It has a hard shell on the top, but
Okay.
it's like a one camera, one extra lens, and some
Yeah.
batteries and stuff. And I just want, because I don't like carrying everything. I don't like
I
me. I don't.
yeah.
I like, you'll see me. Very rare do you even see me wearing a harness or anything. I just keep it in my hand. But
Yeah.
if you do stop and talk to somebody, it's like you want to put it down or put it to the
Yep.
side. And when I don't have it, I'm like, shit, I gotta hold it. So I'm
Yeah.
carrying it like football sometimes. The um so what was it? Oh, what was I gonna ask you? So what other shows this year? You're going to Chicago this weekend.
Chicago this weekend, definitely for that's for the original Lowrider show.
Mm,
Um, I think there's Chicago next month too. That's the USO Midwest Regional. I try
mm.
to hit all them USO shows. They're pretty good guys. They'll give you a hug, a plate of food, and then like next thing you know, you're like, yo, I gotta take some pictures, man. I can't just sit here and talk to you guys. It's just so hard
Yeah.
because then you get up and somebody else is bear hugging you. So it's always hard to get away at those shows and actually really document them because
Oh yeah, absolutely.
but so I'm gonna be doing that one. Damn, I got a couple other ones. There's some other ones in Ohio,
Mhm.
Lima, Ohio, Uso, and then like those dudes potentially, which is down Southern Ohio or Louisville maybe this year.
Yeah,
West Side, which is another Hamilton, Ohio. So a lot of things in this general area.
yeah.
But like I said, I try to. I think there's something out in Indiana. So
Mm. I
yeah,
think
I try to
next
get around.
I'm gonna go next year for sure. My goal is to go to Tampa. That's gonna
Tampa's
be
gonna be hot.
it's gonna
Yeah,
be a
this year
mandatory event for me next year because I haven't
my
gone.
goal this year, I wanna get to that Japan show, but they haven't released a date yet. I know it's that SAS show.
Yeah,
I think it's, either October or November,
yeah. They
but
do it later in the year for us because the
yeah.
weather is different over there. So
So I wanna get out there and check that out because it's downtown basically in Tokyo, which a lot of their other shows are
yeah.
actually on the outskirts, so it's a little bit harder to get to some of those other ones. So
Mm,
it being in Tokyo makes it easier to get to. Granted,
yeah,
Tokyo is the largest city in the world, so that's its own separate animal, but at least you're in the correct city
yeah.
and, you can get around. So I wanna get out because man, all those cars that came stateside that are in Japan now,
Oh yeah,
it's wild. So and then low riding there is different than low riding here. Low riding outside of the Southwest, I would say, is different. I mean, you've traveled quite a bit,
yeah.
so I'm sure you're aware. What's your take on it? Do you notice any differences?
Well, I mean, the difference is in the style and the way people, go about it. I think. I mean, so, and it's not to knock anybody, but they'll tell you most people will say that there's like a difference in years. Like they're still catching up to what everybody's doing in
Oh,
Canada.
oh, 100%.
And so with that being said, it's just some people, you have a lot of people that are moving out of California
Correct. I'm taking it with them
and they're
now.
taking it with them now. So they're getting
Yep.
people are starting to see what's going on. And this is
Yep.
also something that I've told to some of the people out there, the promoters in the East Coast and everything else like that. It's like, understand that everybody out there is watching what happens with the West Coast. So,
Yep.
I'm always trying to find someone to sponsor me or a sponsor or advertisement. And I have to explain to them, people watch what happens on the West Coast more than anything. So
Yep.
even if I'm not going to be in Florida, they're still paying attention to what's going on in California. So when I
Correct.
put out content for California, people from the Midwest,
Everywhere's watching. Yep.
everybody's watching it just because that's just the natural.
Mecca.
Yeah, it's the
Yep.
natural way of going. It's not because of me special. It's anybody on the West Coast. They're paying attention to everything what's happening. So,
Yep.
so if you got to advertise and you're nowhere near California and stuff like that, I mean, it just makes sense to put where everybody's watching, what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
It's not to say that what what people ain't doing is genuine. Like I said, I just I've been to Wichita. I love that show. Kyle's show
Yeah.
out there.
Yep.
Man, everybody is hella cool out there. And I've been talking about going to. Well, I went to Atlanta last year,
Yeah.
and that was really nice. Beautiful area, all very green.
Yeah.
Very green, and but once again, it's like everybody has their own vibe, and like why I travel is because I want to experience that in the lowrider community. Like
Correct.
I have something, it's just a part of me where I realize that there's a lot of like nice people, there's a lot of good people, there's a lot of like family oriented, and just people have a lot of respect in the lowrider community.
Yeah.
Of course there's bad apples and all the other shit, but the traveling around meeting people, man, that's a dope thing, especially when it's in the car culture, man.
Yeah. I
Like,
agree. I agree. What's your favorite city to hit outside of California region?
oh man, you know
Is
what?
it is it at Wichita?
Wichita, I've been there 3 times, and it wasn't bad. But I went to Salt Lake City once, and they had a Cinco de Mayo event. That was cool. I like that. People were hella cool. Kicked it with Uso, kicked it with Majestics.
There you go.
And I had a good time out there. So, but I think I'm trying to think here. I'm gonna have to just stick with Wichita right now. I think I've been there 3 times. So it's
Okay.
like, but it's also hard too because sometimes I just go out there and then I'm there and I'm gone.
That's the best
And
way to do it though, because then it makes you want to go back. You can't overstay your welcome anywhere because then you're like, I'm not trying to go there.
yeah, exactly. And it's like I got to get editing, I got to do this, I got to do that, and oh no, and, Arizona. I've
Yeah.
actually Arizona is where I started. Pinches Lowriders was my first
Oh
video.
yeah. Oh
And
shit.
I gotta take it back. I gotta sit there and I don't know what I'm thinking, but Arizona would be the place for me to go. I have friends out there.
Yeah.
I've been to almost every year except for last year. I didn't go last year to Arizona Super Show, but there's some food places I go every time I visit. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Phoenix, Glendale, the Glendale cruise off the chain.
Oh shit. Okay.
When they do that cruise right after the Super Show, oh man, I was gonna actually only do the Super Show this year, but then I was like, I better get the cruise, so I had to change my flight and everything else.
Yeah.
I ended up sleeping like a whole hour. I literally flew into Arizona, went to the show, had all my stuff with me. I have a friend out there. He picked me up. We went to go eat. Went to the cruise. Did the cruise till 10:30 at night. Went back to his place to pass out. Took a shower. Passed out. Slept for an hour. Got back up and went to the airport and came back.
Yeah. Damn. That's part of it, man. A lot of people don't realize, man, especially when you're documenting these shows like this, man, it's a lot.
Got to salve it out.
Oh yeah. You
You're like,
struggle
why do you do
sometimes.
all that? Because I want
Some
to.
I'll be at shows and people offer me water and shit. I don't want to drink water because
I
I
don't
don't
know.
want to have to use the restroom.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so you like, oh man, I am thirsty as shit, but if I drink so much water, bro, I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna miss something.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta take those sips and
Yeah.
go with it. But it's like, yeah, if if I start drinking, I'm like, am I gonna miss something? And then you're like, then you try to
Yep.
hold it, and you're just trying to hold it, and you're trying to hold
Yeah.
it, and then next, you're like, oh shit, I gotta go, I gotta
All
go
right.
now. And then
What
you
about
come out, and there's like cars hopping, and you're like, damn
yep.
it, you can't get there fast enough. Like,
What about eating? You eat at all?
I really don't care to.
I
I'll
I'm
try to
I
eat something right before, and if I'm able to, at a big show, the lines are always long
oh
to
yeah,
get food,
it's not
so I
worth
ain't
it.
got time. I ain't got time to do that shit.
Yeah.
If I'm lucky, I'll have some granola bars with me. Long as I just say I gotta
Yeah.
eat something so I don't die.
Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of times I'll be out there and people like we do like a lot of picnics, and people offer me food and shit. And it's like, bro, again, I'm not trying to. It's either gonna slow me down or I
Mhm.
appreciate it. Honestly, I do, but
Yeah.
deep down, bro, I just know it's gonna slow me down, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna fuck me up because then I'm gonna be in the bathroom, and that's when everybody wanted to see this hop, and the fucking wheel fell off, and then broke this windshield, and
And yeah,
everybody has
whatever
it on
you
cell phones, and they're like, "Hey, do you got the footage?" I'm like, "No, I don't. I had to take a, real quick because
Yep.
I ate this taco." So
Exactly. Yeah, it's I mean, my assistant, I always give him shit. I said, "There's no union. This ain't a fucking union, bro. There's no
yeah,
union breaks. I need to go take my
no,
lunch and I want to go sample the local cuisine." You know what,
grinding.
bro? I ain't got
It's a
time for that
grind.
shit. I ain't got time for that
Nope.
shit. I'll eat later after the fact. You know what
Yep.
I
And
mean?
only real content creators will get it. I mean, it's a fucking grind, man. To have to be out there, if you're in the sun all day, you're like, fuck, man. But as
Oh
soon as I
yeah.
get home, man, soon as I start editing, I just don't stop eating for like hours.
Oh yeah.
So
It's one of those things like, okay, well, my like plug in all my cards, have everything uploading to the
yeah,
computer. Now I'm gonna go take a shower. Get out the shower,
yeah,
everything's
exactly.
loaded.
Yeah,
Boom. You gotta like I
it's ready
want
to
to sit
edit.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's ready to edit. Boom, start editing and stuff
yeah.
like that. And people don't realize that that's a real thing.
Oh,
I invested
100%.
in a newer computer this year, and this laptop, I love it. Oh my god. And
Yeah,
and and uh I've been able to do way more editing on the plane and everything else. And oh man, it's great.
yeah,
You
yeah, man.
know?
A lot of people don't. That's the side that people don't see. They'll see the footage. They might see you at the show. They don't see you driving back home for like 6 hours, seven
Yeah,
hours. They don't see you having to edit shit. They don't see you like, fuck, man,
yeah,
I gotta try to make this clip work, even though it looks kind of fucked up. What can I do to try to get this out? So it doesn't end as soon as the
yeah,
show ends.
exactly.
You have
I mean,
a day before, a day to get there, whatever, and then the day after. It's a lot.
yeah, that reminds me. That's right now I'm in dilemma right now because I'm trying to decide if am I going to drive to Vegas this year or am I going to fly. I want to
Yeah,
book everything. I'm trying to. My goal is to book everything by the end of June and like literally pay for it all, so I don't have to worry about it when it
yeah.
comes. But my thing is now is if I'm going to fly out there or am I going to drive out there? There's the hops, there's the car show, the hops, and everything else. Do I want to Uber everywhere or rent a car or just take my car?
And then the
A
equipment
1
side
hour
of
flight.
things, I'm sure you could take way more equipment if you're driving, whereas if you're
Absolutely.
flying, you got X amount, and whatever you take, it has to work. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes I want to take like I've been, I really don't want to buy a another light stand. I have some really nice light stands, but
yeah,
I have to sit there and decide if I take my car, I can take my light stands. If I don't take my car, I don't take my light stands. So, if
yeah,
there's a possibility to do a shoot in the setup, I won't really be able to the way I want to. The
yeah.
hop, I can't mount like an off-camera flash if I wanted to do that.
All my
So
light stands right now are travel light stands, so they can fold
yeah.
up and fit into a suitcase. So
Yeah, I saw a couple nice ones, but like I said, I have the ones that pick up when you pick them up, the legs close.
oh, those are nice.
Yeah, I invested in those. I love those damn things
Yeah.
because you just pick them up and they close, and so you can move around and you put them down and it opens on their own,
Oh, that's
and
nice.
they're sturdy. And you know what? The thing is they don't come down, they don't compact.
Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, all mine they're sturdy, they're Pro Masters,
Mhm.
but they were only set up. I only bought them to try to fit into this size of a suitcase.
Yeah.
So when I'm traveling, it's essentially 95% camera gear, and this isn't even a lowrider stuff. Like when I was in Puerto Rico, I went
Mhm.
down there. I took tons of like that's where I picked up this Mamiya from and stuff. But all I had was camera equipment. I just had camera equipment and like a couple pieces of clothes. And
Yeah,
I mean, it's the fun of it.
exactly. Yeah, it's an adventure and we make it that way. I think a lot of people don't realize I'm kind of into the traveling next year. My goal after we get past this year, but next year my goal is I'm going to try to hit a bunch of events that I've never been to. So I think
That's good.
I'm gonna push that even if they fall on like the local big events, I'm still gonna
Yeah.
go out of town.
And
So
so a lot of people reach out and they'll be like, "Hey, I wonder how this event is." And if there's not somebody covering that event,
mm,
they don't know. By covering event, you're helping grow that event. So
Yeah.
make sure everybody understands whether that event's paying you or not, you're putting that time into that event, and you
Yep.
showing that event is going to bring more people in, regardless if you're paid or not. So you're actually doing something for the community as far as that goes. So I
Yeah.
mean, if you're able to outreach to other people and things like that, I mean, hopefully they
Well,
reciprocate and appreciate you for coming out.
yeah, definitely. I think I kind of had made a joke. I went to a picnic. It was a picnic thing, and I went out of town and I said, after my video gets posted, you're gonna have everybody wanting to come out here. And the
Yeah,
guy goes, "Oh, okay." And then I ran into him again a couple months later, and he goes, "Hey," he's all, "You know how you told me that?" He's all, "Yeah." He's all, "This guy, this YouTuber, this person, they said they're gonna come next year." And I'm
yep.
like, "See, you know,
So I mean, you could even see it. I know you see it when you look on your what videos are popping for this day or whatever.
yeah,
Every time a show's about to come up, that video from last year, the numbers start to go up, and you're like, okay, people are watching it. And then
see."
it's a sharp fall off right after that show because it's people like, hey, I wonder how the show is. I wonder if essentially you're making a commercial for that show. So
Essentially, yeah. I mean, especially when people are starting to figure out, like, should I go to the show? Because it is a lot of people, a lot of spectators, even if they don't take their car, they
correct,
want to know how the show is because they want to go
correct.
see something different.
Yep,
They love lowriders. They don't want to just watch the YouTube anymore.
yep.
Mm, So they go look at the video so they can decide whether that's a good show to go check out, you know?
Correct. Yeah, so there's a lot of that. I see it. I won't a video won't get played for, 11 months. It
Mhm.
plays and then as soon as that show's about to come up, you get 1 month of play nonstop and it's done and that's it. And that could be shows from several years ago.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. As long as it's out there, people watch it. So,
Yeah, and there's it's part of that is too is that some of the people are going, man, you gotta go to this event, and they're like, well,
yeah.
what is it? Oh, look, there's this one video. Okay, who did? Oh yeah, this guy did the video last year,
Yep.
and they're showing it to their friends, so it all matters, and it's all, to me, it's like, if you do your research, if you realize a lot of this stuff promotes, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's important to understand why it's it is hard or it's not hard to get a media pass, because the promoters already know who's being looked at constantly and stuff like that. So it's hard when you have, say your budget is, you know, say the budget is 10 media passes. If you have 12 guys and two of them are just starting out, it's going to be hard for them to want to give out, the
Yep.
media pass for free
Yep.
when they got to pick between all these people. So,
Yeah.
they're gonna probably give away 5 and they're gonna hold 5 to sell because they have
Yep.
to make a certain amount of money anyway. And they don't really have to make money off the media passes, that, but they're just like, if we're gonna give people that don't have any kind of,
Yeah.
experience, or we don't know what they're gonna do with it, then we're gonna have to charge so many people. But
Yeah.
you know, it's one of those things. It's like you can either do the show every year or do different shows all the time.
Correct.
But I think that, like, for me, Arizona is almost like a mandatory. I only missed last
Yeah.
year. And then there's certain shows I go to every year because I know they're good shows.
Yep.
But regardless of anything, I go because I really want to be there.
Yeah.
And that's like, I want to go back to Salt Lake City eventually. The Utah one, I want to do that. That was a good event, and I had a lot of fun. So, but it's a single to mile show, so it's like there's so much that goes on that weekend. I tried Reno last year,
Yeah.
and everybody was at Elysian, and then I almost went to Elysian. I almost booked a flight to Elysian because it was 20 minutes from the airport to Elysian Park by Uber,
Yeah.
and I'm glad I decided to stay local because they shut it down and it didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. It's rough.
So you pick and choose, and sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. I mean, I just talked to another content creator, and they said it was hell when they went out there. Elysian, they came out from Vegas, and you had to, like, try to figure out where everybody was going, and then ended up in
This past year?
yeah,
Oh
in
yeah,
Pasadena. Yeah,
they were trying to grab spots like a week before and shit.
yeah. But what happened?
They shut that shit down.
Because the Dodger game was that night, and
Yeah.
they panicked. They panicked because they didn't want problems with the Dodger game, because you
Yeah.
drive right through there.
Oh yeah,
That's how you get into the Dodger Stadium, is
yep.
right through that park. And so they shut it all down.
Yeah.
So we'll see if the Dodgers schedule another game that day for next year. Because if the Dodgers don't, I guarantee you there won't be a problem again. But
Yeah.
the thing is, and I'm going to say it like this: even in San Jose, we had our own events, but they still were pulling people over left and right. The thing is that you can go cruising any other weekend except for Cinco de Mayo. You try to go cruise on Cinco de Mayo, and the cops are going to harass you. It's just it's like a mandatory thing for them, and don't realize that. Like you can go the very next weekend, we could have done a cruise, and they wouldn't have cared. So it is
Yeah.
what it is. It's a party weekend. They're looking for drunk drivers and people doing those the takeover things.
Well, if anybody wanted to take their cars outside of California on Cinco de Mayo, bro, it's like dead. So I mean,
Yeah, I know. That's why that's why there was people that came out of state for Elysian Park.
oh yeah, Elysian this year it was so packed. It was fucking wild.
Yeah, the
So
year before was crazy, and that's what everybody thought it was gonna be this year. And it just ended up everybody had to split up and go different places because they shut
yeah,
it down.
yeah. LA Times was wild.
Yeah. So, I mean, ultimately, we have you gotta there's times there's some events that are like if you want to get all the content, if you've never been to it, like I tell everybody, King of the Streets for San Francisco, you have show, hop, and cruise. You cannot go wrong, and it's a good ass event. It's a big party, and Chinaman, he's the one who called it. He said it's the Mardi Gras of low riding, and it makes a lot
Yeah,
of sense. It is a big street party,
yeah,
so it's definitely something for people to check out. And I keep talking about it, but I tell people this all the time. I've told people up in Washington, and it's like if you're gonna come out for that.
yeah,
Everybody knows to go to you go to LA any weekend and have a complete lowrider experience. But if you
yep,
want to come out to NorCal, there's only certain things, certain events that really shine and make it fun for like the whole day. And it's not just a
yeah.
car show. So, but yeah, but you know what? I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. It's always good talking to you, brother. And
Likewise.
like I said, these will be out soon, and we'll go from there. And hopefully I'll see you at a show.
Yeah, man. We'll cross paths again.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, peace.
Late.
Pinches Lowriders.